Good morning, everyone. I'm mid-workout and I just wanted to share something because, I don't know, you ever have those like cool moments for yourself or in practice and you think about something and you're like, wow, that is actually really cool. Well, I've seen this before, but it's just been a while since I've had this happen to myself. So yesterday, I was moving a bunch of boxes in between seeing patients of all of our mobility tools and neck traction units and all the stuff that we stockpile in our storage area. And I wasn't really warmed up prior. I was adjusting, but I wasn't warmed up in my thoracic spine. And anyway, really quickly I went back there, I started moving stuff and I tweaked something in my thoracolumbar spine. So that's probably the very sweaty area right now. Just finished doing some deadlifts this morning in the MoveNow gym. See, look. It's the MoveNow gym. How cool is that? Doing some hip thrusters right now. Just finished doing deadlifts. But anyway, so real quick, if you're just watching this and you haven't already, and I put it in the description here, but I've got a couple books sitting here ready to send out to you. So if you want to get an idea of just how to put corrective exercise into a chiropractic practice and how it works and how we've done it, I wrote a book about it, and you can get this book. It's normally $20 for the book, but you can get it for free. We'll send it out to you for free, just cover shipping. So we talk about the whole model here, 18 chapters of good stuff, quick read. But anyway, let me flip this. So here's the thing I want to talk about is this. In the past, if a patient would have come into me and had moderately acute thoracolumbar pain, what would I have done as a chiropractor before I followed the systems that I follow now? Well, what I would have done is I probably would have done something to get them out of acute care. I would have tiptoed around it, assuming that they're too acute to do anything else. So maybe some like manual therapy stuff, something to loosen them up, and then we would adjust them, and then we'd ice them, and then we'd tell them to go home. And maybe we'd tell them to like move or do like cat-cow or something. But here's what I did this morning. Okay, yesterday I could barely move, and I was trying to get adjusted by Dr. Zach, and he was doing a great job. But as he was trying to adjust me, I could not relax for him. And it was like the end of the day, seeing patients, I wanted to get home, so I just went home. I did a little bit of manual therapy yesterday in the office too, and temporary relief, but I was still extremely stiff, couldn't move all that well. And this morning I woke up to do my workout, and I hadn't worked out in 4 days. 3 days. I took a very long rest. This is the 4th day today. And I woke up this morning and I was just thinking, man, there's no way I'm gonna be able to work out. I'm locked up in my thoracolumbar spine. And to an extent, at least as chiropractors, I think we can, I don't know if you can tell this, but sometimes you can tell in your own body if it's like of joint origin solely or if the majority of the discomfort you're having is muscular. A lot of times the problem will start at the joint, but then the muscles is what clamps down and really gives you all the grief. And so I knew a lot of my limited mobility was just intense muscle splinting and overactivity. So literally, I walked on the treadmill for 5 minutes, okay? I then foam rolled nice and easy in my thoracolumbar mid-thoracic spine. And then I went through and laid on a double lacrosse ball and moved that up inch by inch in my spine. Just try to load it and rock back and forth. But then what I did is I went into lumbar lock thoracic rotation, so on all fours, and just rotating and extending through my thoracic spine, really isolating that. And the first several reps were very, very tight. And I went through and I breathed and I went through that process, and it did pretty good. And I was loosening up a bit. And then what I started doing is I went progressively heavier in my deadlifts. And I started with 135 pounds, with 225, and then I did 5 sets of 315 for 8 and then 6 reps. And I'll tell you, by like the first set of 225, things started feeling pretty much back to normal. And so I was engaging my posterior chain after I went through some global mobility, some focus mobility. I went through some extensibility, some patterning movements, and then I went through and loaded it, okay? And the cool thing about that is if I was a patient, I would think that the practitioner that just did that with me was magical, because I would walk out functioning pretty well, and I would be advised to do some lumbar lock thoracic rotation throughout the day, to maybe even do some like banded deadlifts with like a resistance band, and I would keep pretty good function all day long, and I'd come back and I'd get my joint adjusted in office. So I would, intervene with my chiropractic approach of like a segmental adjustment. And so anyway, that model is something we do in practice all the time. We have patients that come in that are saying that they're acute, but it's not an acute inflamed joint, I can't move, crippling, sharp shooting pain type thing. It's stiffness, muscle guarding, muscle hypertonicity. We adjust the joint, and then we address all those other components, and then we give them some good solid guidance as far as what to do on their own, and the results are accelerated. And it's cool because we are helping them get fixed through movement. And so chiropractic obviously is about movement. It plays a huge role in this as far as segmentally, but there's a global component and there's a functional movement component, and there's a loading component to this. There's a motor control component. As soon as you turn on some of these prime movers and other stabilization muscles throughout the body, the brain says, okay, I can let my guard down on some of these areas that I'm splinting and holding out of fear. And so that's a motor control pattern that you have to repattern. So anyway, just want to talk about that briefly for all the doctors that are on here that I can't see who you are. Facebook covers it up a little bit. I can see there's a bunch of people watching. Hello, good morning. Thanks for watching. Comment, share, whatever. Check out the book if you haven't already. For those doctors, I can see the name. Dr. Jason Helton, I can see your name on here. Good morning. Thanks for joining. And so that's just it. If you haven't grabbed the book yet, go to book.movenowu.com, and we send these out every single week. My wife is the shipping department. And so we send these books out every single week, and we're gonna do it until this batch that we have that we destined to send out for free is gone. So grab them while they last. We get a lot of cool feedback from doctors that say that they enjoy the perspective. It gives them a new way of looking at things. They can conceptualize and actually envision how they could do this in their practice. And the main driver for this, for everyone, the main driver, and I stand behind this, has to be clinical results. It has to be if you want to do better for your patients, okay? If you're looking to do something really quick and easy just to make a buck in chiropractic, adding corrective exercise and functional movement is not it. Go get some lasers to wrap around someone's feet when they have diabetic neuropathy. That's probably a faster way to make a quick buck, but I don't know how fulfilling that is. So anyway, something that we were working on, and I'll just end with this, is like a quick one-liner as far as to explain what we do. It's kind of a long one-liner, but I'm gonna read it. We have this on this dry erase board. I was doing some masterminding stuff with our team the other day, and this isn't the final version, but we help chiropractors add functional movement to their practice so that they can improve the results, get patients to buy into a movement-based culture, become the go-to authority in their community, and get paid for it in under 90 days. Not get paid for it under 90 days, but implement it. Like I said, it needs a little bit of work. But anyway, with that said, over and out. I'm gonna finish my workout. Appreciate y'all. We'll talk soon.